Okay, so good day. By this time, this will be the Google Classroom Seminar and Workshop Part 2. So it covers about the Google Classroom module Classroom. So, of course, you just create, of course, a classwork, assignment, quiz assignment, question, material, reuse post, and topic. Okay, so we may continue. So once again, good day. So what we're going to do, of course, is to continue the Google Classroom Seminar and Workshop Part 2. So how to create a Gmail, we done it already. Then the Google Classroom stream, we're done with Part 1. Then by this time, for Part 2, covered about classroom. Then in creating a classroom, you are allowed to create an assignment, quiz assignment, question, material, reuse, post, and topic. So this will be what I'm talking about. Okay? We may proceed to classroom. Then under classroom, we have assignment, quiz assignment, question, material, reuse, and post, and the topic. So, of course, what we're going to do first is to open our created classroom. Now, so again, we have stream, classwork, people, and grades. Now, by this time, just simply click classwork. Okay, pag clinic natin yung create, makikita natin yung assignment, quiz assignment, question, or if you wanted to post material, or you want to reuse your former post. So, when we say reuse of post, so for example, if you posted before, you are allowed to reuse it again. So, for example, if you created one assignment and you want to reuse this assignment to another section, so you just simply click the post reuse post. Or for example, you uploaded video, you uploaded files. No need for you to re-upload again to another section. What you're going to do is just simply reuse post. Okay, but later on, we will show you the reuse post function. Okay, so what we're going to do is to click assignment. Okay, so as you can see here, add or create materials within your assignment and add or create docs, slides, sheet, drawing, and forms. Click got it. So for example, your first activity is self-introduction. Okay. Okay, for example, what will be your instruction? Can you give me an instruction, Madam participants? What will be the possible instruction if your student required to have a self-introduction?
Write
Right?
a simple introduction of yourself.
Intro, write a simple introduction about yourself.
Introduction about yourself.
Or you just simply write something about yourself.
Okay. Or
And if you wanted to add, for example, be creative, be creative in doing your be creative in doing your first activity. But of course, you are allowed naman to add additional instruction if you want. For example, if you want to add at least write at least or
three times.
write at least 2 to 3 paragraphs. Okay. Okay. So as what we did in our stream, by this time you are required to add, for example, if you want to add Google Drive, link, file, and YouTube video. It is also allowed. But since this is a self-introduction, you just simply choose create. Click create. By this time, as you can see here, when you click create, we have docs, the slide, sheets, drawing, and forms. But since we're looking forward for a Microsoft Word file or a Word file, you just simply click docs. Okay, so as you can see here, the docs available in Google Classroom is almost the same with Microsoft Word. So at the left side, you may able to see the untitled document. You just click the untitled document. Make it a simple introduction, or self introduction. Because it's better for us to create a template for the students. Then of course, you just like type section, then section in, for example, course or program, then name. Okay, so for section, assuming that this will be a IT 1Y1-1, the program of course is the BS in Information Technology. So make it presentable as much as possible. And for example, your name is, your student name is Marmelo Di Abante. Okay, so for example, because majority of us require student to write their section, their program, and their names. Then after that, you just enter. Then again, same with Microsoft Word, you can center. Then self-introduction. Okay. Then right after that, okay. So again, it's better for you to have a good design. So if you wanted to make it is bold, or you want to have this one as a, for example, size 15, just press enter in bold. So therefore, if you enter this one and share to them, this template is also available to your student once you shared. So if it is still okay, if for example, if it is this template is okay already, click share. Then it display that Din Melo channel, the IT era 1Y1 as teacher. Then as you can see here, what you're going to do is to click the teacher. Then click done. Okay, so by this time, since you share it already, go to Classwork. Then as you can see here, we will be able to see this one. As what we have here, we have the title. So as you can see here, the untitled document, so just click this one. But before I forget, we just simply try to, okay. So as what we have here, we have an arrow down here. But the default is student can view file. You just click the arrow down. Student can edit file or make a student or make a copy for a student. But of course, since we want to share this one individually, so make a copy for each student. For all the students to have this copy and separate copy per student. Okay, so right after that, you can assign at the right side, you will be able to see how many points. So most commonly, if there's an essay, then later on you have a rubrics. For example, you have 2 rubrics, just choose 10. 10. Then for example, you want to give a date. No? For example, this quiz must be taken, for example, next week. So you just set the date and time. So for example, if you want to set, just click this arrow, then you are allowed to change the date and at the same time the time here. So for example, you make this exam on, for For example, in 21, then for example, your class is 8 a.m., then you just simply click enter. But if you don't want to set, you just click this one. Then you can delete if you don't want to post it later automatically. But of course, this will be an essay. So therefore, what you're going to do is to click the rubrics. Okay. So you are allowed to create a rubric or you can reuse the rubric. For example, if you have a previous rubric, you can use that rubric. No need for you to create a new one. But if you have a previous Google Sheet from other documents or even from other laptop, you can create import from sheets. So since we don't have rubric, click create rubric. So once you click the rubric, as you can see here, use of course automatically check the use scoring. This rubric is used for your scoring. Okay? Okay, so I'll just open my rubrics here. For example, I have a rubric here. Okay, so I just share my sample rubrics. So assuming that this will be my rubrics, okay? So I have a lot of evaluation for business plan. Of course, that is not business plan. Just try to look with the rubrics. I have a lot of rubrics actually. Okay, so for example, this one. Assuming that this is a cooperative learning project, it's just only an example. As what we have here, we have an organization, content accuracy, research, and creativity. But by this time, I just want to use this four, okay? These rubrics. So, and we consider that exceptional, for example, is 5, admirable is 4, acceptable is 3, amateur is 2. Because as teacher, we always see that as much as student submitted, you give at least 1 point. No? So assuming that exceptional is 5, admirable is 4, acceptable is 3, then amateur is 2. Okay, so actually, we actually allowed to minimize this one. Okay, now, and we'll go back to our classroom. So assuming I'm going to create a rubrics. So what I'm going to do first, of course, is to create a title or criterion title. So for example, what will be the criterion? As what we have earlier, the criterion is built on organization, content, research, and creativity. So the first criterion is the organization. You just simply highlight, Control C, then paste. So our first criterion is organization. Actually, if you want to add some additional description about organization, it is also okay. Okay. For point required, so since the organization is, for example, the points is 5, as I mentioned. So 5 for organization. For the title, level title, we use, for example, that will be the one, exceptional. So exceptional. Then description. Description extremely. So just simply copy paste actually. Yun. Yes. Then again, if you want to add, for example, since you have the number, sorry, that is 5 only. So automatically you have the 5. For organization, you have 5. For exceptional, extremely well organized. To add, at the right side, click the plus sign. The right side. Okay. Then, of course, this will 4 points. Then, again, we just click the admirable. Then admirable. Then the description. If you memorize, it's too easy for you. You just simply type. But if not, just copy paste. Then again, we have 4, then 3. Then the level will be acceptable. So this acceptable. Then another, this is amateur. 2 points. Then amateur. Then of course, copy paste again the description. So just copy paste, then description. So as you have here, you have already a 5 points as you can see at the right top. But if you want to click, okay, duplication is allowed. If you want to duplicate, just for you to copy paste. Or if you don't want to copy paste, click at the bottom, the plus sign, add criterion. Okay, now, so to add at the bottom, we have add criterion. But if you want to duplicate, you just look for this one. At the top, double click, then duplicate. So it's too easy. Duplicate. Then at the bottom, change the organization. What will be the next? criteria. Content accuracy. Okay, so we may proceed. So for the second criterion title, content accuracy. Accuracy. So same pa rin, exemptional. So you just simply copy the or type, replace the description of course. This by this time completely accurate. All facts were precise and explicit. So for description number 2, for admirable, just edit. Then for acceptable, of course, copy paste again. Then the last one will be for amateur, copy paste again. Because it's time consuming if we retype it one by one. So what we're going to do is just simply copy paste. Okay. Then since we're done already with second criterion, okay, again click, then duplicate again. So at the bottom, the next criterion is about research. Okay, research. Actually, this is only an example. No, if you have your own rubrics for the specific activity or essay, allow you to replace. So for research, Control C, of course, replace. Okay, so for again, we are now in the what criteria? Research. So for number 2, for admirable, copy paste again. Then for acceptable, paste. Then for amateur, copy paste. So we have already 3. But by this time, we need to have additional one, right? So again, a while ago we used this one. But if you want to use this one, add criterion, but it's time consuming because we need to type again the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the amiable and so on. So better for us to use this one to duplicate. Then the last one will be about the criteria is creativity. So replace this one in creativity. Same pa rin po, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exceptional, admirable, acceptable, amateur. Of course, replace the content. So for example, for this one, it's copy paste actually. Okay, so as you can see here, if you want to move, if you want to move criterion up or move criterion down. So for example, if you want to make this one at the top, you just highlight then click up. If you are if you think that this rubric is okay and accomplish well, just click save. Okay, but if you want, of course, to click this one, you also required to delete or to edit. But of course, we do not do that. So click save. Okay. Then at the right side, a while ago, we created rubric, right? So the rubric is a 20 points. So a while ago, we set 10. So therefore, we need to add. We make it 20. Because based on our given rubric, that is 20 items at the right side. Then after that, at the bottom, as you can see here, you have now a rubric. If you want to see click, then you will be able to display your rubric. Then if you see that this is okay, if it's not okay at the top, you just click this one at the top. Then you allowed to edit, to delete, or to export to sheets. If if you don't have any questions, I think you are satisfied with your rubrics. At the left side, click the X sign. Then, as you can see here, automatically save. It means to say that this rubric is saved to your Google Drive at the right side. Then, if you want to assign, we have three options. Again, click arrow down. We have assign, schedule, save draft, discard draft. So what we're going to do, of course, is to choose assign. Okay. So as you can see here, automatically, this will be the add a topic. Then click got. So it means to say that your rubrics is assigned to this one, to self-introduction. So automatic, you have a first activity in your classwork. And this will be the self-introduction. If you want to see, edit, delete, and copy link. If you want, for example, I need to add some additional instruction, you can edit. If you decided to delete, for example, you just delete. Or if you want for your student to see in your FB group, click the copy link. Okay? So now, by this time, I need to go back to a student account. So for us to see if it is already posted. Okay, so we're going to share the student account. Oh, so this will be the student account, right? So what student need to do is to click the classwork. Then as you can see here, the student assigned a self-introduction. Okay, so the student be able to see this one. The student can copy link or report abuse. Of course, if you are the student, why do you report as abuse? So for example, if you are the student and decided now to do this activity, okay, click, then automatically it display. Uh, write a sample introduction about yourself, be creative in doing your first activity, write at least 2 to 3 paragraphs. And of course, the student, there are some students, honor students, who are particular with the grades. So rubrics is an important for them. They want to know how my professor graded my first activity. So once the student click this rubrics, it display to them. Hmm. Okay. So therefore, my professor graded me exceptional if I have a complete accurate, all facts were precise and explicit. Okay, and others. Now, for example, if the student wanted to click this one to take the quiz or to answer the self-introduction, as what we did, they have a template already. So for example, student load. So the student no need for them to go to Microsoft Word because we created template for them. So for example, this will be the first line answered by your student. So as you can see here, this one is automatically saved or moved to other account. No, it's already available. Then, for example, additional info. So, if for example, if the student is already finished, what he or she going to do is to click the turn in. Then, click turn in. Then, an attachment will be submitted for self-introduction, turn in. Or here, no? If the student wanted to have a comment, Sir, kindly give me feedback about my quiz. Okay, then send. So it means to say that the student created message. Now, you are now going to your faculty account. So once you click this one, as you can see, there's a student who submitted his work because one turned in. If you click this one, you'll be able that Marmelo Abante submitted his work. If you wanted to grade, to give him a grade, okay, so you will be able to see the submitted activity of your student. So for example, if you want to give her grade, okay, so for example, that's 20 points. So for example, for organization, you impress, you give 4. For content accuracy, 4. For research, you give 2. For creativity, you give 2. So as you can see here, automatically save 10 out of 20. Then, you are also, say, since the student give you a message, sir, kindly give me a feedback about my quiz. You may send, congratulations, you pass. Hindi na. 10 out of 20. Then post. Then return. At 12 out of 20, sorry. Okay. So again, we visit the student account. So as you can see here, the student be able to see automatically her grade or his grade. You give 4, so this will be, you give 4 for this one. The rubric itself shows your grades. Then the comments or the feedback given to you, congratulations, you pass. But that is 12 out of 20, sorry. Not 20. So for example, if you want to edit, no, you're not to edit. Because we posted already. Okay? So it's too easy. Okay, so by this time, again, we need to go to our professor account. Okay, you just close this one. Going to, I got it. Again, classwork. By this time, we choose quiz assignment. Just click quiz assignment. Then as you can see here, let the student know how their assignment will be evaluated. So create a rubric and use it for dragging or providing. So got it. So for example, this will be your prelim exam. Prelim examination. So instruction. Choose. Choose. That's correct. Choose. But of course, if you want to add, for example, additional instruction, for example, secure your permit and others. So it's up to you if you want to add additional. No? But of course, as teacher, we give them additional information for them to review. Okay? If you want to give them an additional lectures, no, it is allow, of course, to us to give them additional. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, we could possible to add file. So for example, in my class, I just want to add, for example, week 1 OS. Loading. Of course, before the exam, it's better for you to give some reviewers. No? As a teacher, especially during this time, that is, we are full online, or maybe somebody adapted blended learning, but still, it's better for us to give some additional reviewers. So we're still waiting. We are uploading the file. Okay, so as you can see here, we posted it already. Then, for example, if we want to add again, for example, a file, a picture file, it is also allowable for us. So, assuming that I have a picture of an operating system, for example, add, it's posted. If you want to have a YouTube again, a YouTube link, okay, so you just type, for example, a while ago we posted OS. So by this time we posted about hardware. Then just click, then add. So as you can see here, we provided a lot of reviewers for our student. Now, of course, majority of us wanted to keep our files safe. That's why we're not allowing our student to edit or to make a copy, especially if that is a licensed ebook. Okay, so better for us to set this one as student can view a file. Same with this one. Okay, but as you can see here, automatically attach the Google Forms. No need for you to click the create. Okay, so what you're going to do is just to click this one, blank quiz form. Okay, actually during our seminar, if you attended seminar, this will be a sample, no? As you can see here. So anyone can view this form. So what you're going to do, of course, is to, if you want to add, to edit this one, for example, create prelim examination. Okay. Then this will be the question. This will be the responses of the student. So as you can see here, accepting responses. Okay, so we may proceed. Click prelim examination. If you want to have some description, you may type. But if you don't have a description, you may proceed to this question. Okay, now it's time for us to do a questions, to create a questions. But as you can see at the right side, you are allowed to have a multiple choice. Multiple choice, short answer. Short answer, for example, if that's fill in the blanks. Okay? So paragraph in an essay form. But most commonly, we use multiple choice or checkbox. Okay? So our question will be, for example, multiple choice. So create question. For example, it is the technique of making an apparatus, a process, or a system to operate automatically. Okay, so for example, this will be your question. Option number 1, for example, is computer, assuming computer is the first. To add additional, for example, automation or robotics, for example, or artificial intelligence. Okay, so once you're done, as you can see here at the bottom, you will be able to see the answer key. So, okay, we're still waiting with your classmate or with our attendees. So, again, even if you create a true or false exam, you just simply choose multiple choice because we don't have true or false here. Instead, use multiple choice. Okay, done? Okay, click answer key. Then, how many points? For example, 1 point. Then, since you make it 1 point, click done at the bottom. Done. Then by this time, what will be the correct answer? Check. You just check. Okay. So you just click once again the answer key. Now the answer key at the bottom. Then you just click the correct answer, of course. Then done. Then at the bottom, always choose required. Required. Why do we need to indicate required? It means to say that the student required to answer this question before he may proceed to the next question. Okay? Then you just click that bottom. You can add description or you just go to section based on answer or shuffle option order. This will be an advantage of this form. If you want to shuffle the option, so for example, if you have two students simultaneously take up the exam, so the choices, for example, same question, but the choices, possible the computer will be at the last. So it's shuffle. Okay, so click shuffle option order. Okay, now this is also another advantage. Okay, so since you have a question number one, if you want to have you are allowed to add question at the right side, or you just simply import a question. You can add title, you can add image, you can add video, you can add section, or at the bottom, we have duplicate here at the bottom. Click duplicate, then you just simply edit. Okay, so for example, next question. A person who writes blogs. Well, this will be the question. Then the answer, for example, you just, of course, replace. Sample, this one is a blog. Reader, user, blog, or blogger. So by this time, the correct answer is blog. So you just click blogger and deselect the reader. Actually, the advantage in copying automatically set up. You just simply replace the correct answer at the bottom. So if you want to have an additional point, for example, 2 points or one, stay with 1 point, just click one automatically in the bottom. So the correct answer is this one. Okay, then done. Click done. Then automatically set as 1 point and at the same time shuffle because you just simply copy or duplicate the first question. Same format as what we have on our first question because we duplicate. So what you're going to do is just to, of course, to change the correct answer. Okay, so again, at the right side, as you can see here, we have the plus sign that is add questions. If you want to import questions from, for example, you have a Google form question before, you're allowed to import. This letter T is, of course, if you want to add title and description. Then we have, if you want to add a message or an image rather, click this one. But if you want, for example, to add actually this one could able to use or to add an ebooks, for example, as an image. For this one is video. Books, for example, if you want a student to watch a video first before he answered the question, this is okay. Add video and add section. So for the meantime, click add question, the plus sign. So at the bottom, you will be able to see again this one. So as you can see here, the same, almost the same at the top. No, by this time, as you can see here, again, if you want to have an image, click this at the center. Okay, or by this time, what I wanted first to do is to true or false, no? For example. So, assuming this will be the question. Because as you can see here, we don't have multiple choice here. So what we're going to do is simply to choose the multiple choice for the true or false question. So for example, this will be the question. ACM stands for Association of Computing Machinery. So for option number 1 is true, for example. Option number 2 is false. The same as what we did. Okay, answer key. Then click the answer, the correct answer. For example, by this is true. Add additional point, that is 1 point. Okay, we are still waiting with others to finish. So by this time, that is a true or false. So my question is, ACM stands for Association of Computing Machinery. So of course, you need to click the answer, of course, 1 point again. Then at the bottom, click done. Now, of course, required again. Of course, if you want to shuffle the option, still okay. Just click the shuffle. Okay, so by this time, we add, because we have at 3 questions already. So by this time, add question again. Maybe somebody who wanted, of course, to have a picture, right? So add question. So for example, I were going to insert picture. By the way, no. What we're going to do is, of course, same. Of course, we just click the multiple choice again. Then we have a image here at the center. Click the image. Browse. Then, for example, this will be my picture. Okay, so as you can see here, I attached already a picture. But you are allowed to edit the picture. Okay? So what you're going to do, as you can see here, we have a dot here at the left, at the sides. Okay? So you just click this one, then make it small. Okay, so you want. But of course, it is also allowed to make it a center. Okay, so for example, the question is, what is the heart of computer? Based on the given example, based on the given picture, yan again, if you want to make it center, you just click the dot sign here, the double dot, then you left align, you center align, you right align, you change, and you remove, or you just add caption. So by this time, we want to center, automatically center the picture. Okay, so for example, option number 1, that is CPU, for example. Number 2 will be, for example, a uh, motherboard, sample OS, operating system. Another option, for example, is what else? For example, is CPU, motherboard, OS, firmware, for example. So, of course, if you already finished, click the answer key again. 1 point, for example. So, the correct answer is, of course, motherboard. Then click done. So, if I think it's too easy for you, then required. Then shuffle the option. Okay, so I think everybody already finished. So we have 4 questions, but I think we need to create 4. Maybe somebody asking, how about, sir, if I want to create a fill in the blanks or identification? Okay, click plus sign again. Click the plus sign. By this time, choose short answer. Okay, so as you can see here, okay, so of course, again, as I mentioned, short answer as what we have here. Then the question. So for example, the question is, wait, I just want to look for a question. For example, it is the act of using someone's intellectual property and claiming it as one's own. So I think everybody already finished. Now, so by this time, what you're going to do is to click the answer key. Okay. So add correct answer here. So again, for example, you want to make this, you just only give one answer. So it means to say that we need, of course, to add some additional instruction. So for example, since the question, the correct answer of this question is plagiarism. Okay. So, and this is the identification type. So because some of our students possible to answer it plagiarism all lowercase, or our student answered plagiarism all caps lock or uppercase, or some student answered plagiarism caps lock, P is caps lock, then the rest is all lowercase. So it is better for us to add additional instruction. But if you wanted to do, actually it is all allowable. No? For example, you just type plagiarism, then o kaya style plagiarism, or the possible answer of the student. No? Something like that. So it means to say that these questions only allowed student answer with all caps lock, all lowercase, or simply capital P, or the first letter is in uppercase. We are still waiting with your classmate. Okay, but if you want, of course, just simply caps lock. You're just only accepting the caps lock. So of course, what you're going to do first is to done, then edit this one. For example, you add additional instruction. Uh, Write your answer in a capital letter or capital letters. So you just simply add additional instruction. Okay, so of course you give point. So 1 point for example. Then as you can see here, it is an act of using someone's intellectual property and claiming it as on one's own. Then there is certain instruction, write your answer in a capital letters. It means to say that our answer K, as you can see here, is all in uppercase. So, of course, in our field, in IT, no? So, instead of using capital letters, uh, we call it as uppercase letters. Okay? So, of course, it must be required again. Then, no need for you to shuffle because you just only one question. Why do we need to write this one? For us to be more specific. That because again, we need to inform our student that they need to read all instruction clearly before they were going to answer the question. Okay, so as you can see here, we have already the total 5 points. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, same. For example, if you want to add additional, you just simply click the plus sign. Then, again, as I mentioned earlier, you are also allowed to up or down the. Okay, once you already finish, you just simply click this one, customize themes at the top. Click this one. Then you can just choose image. If you want, of course, we need to have a very presentable exam. So choose image. So for example, if you choose, you just try to choose any. So for example, if you want this one, Book. Assuming book. So then click insert. Then as you can see here, you have a book already at the top. But if you want to upload your own work, it's still okay. Okay, so as you can see here, you have a good, at least a better one. No? Then at the bottom, you have a theme color here. As you can see here at the bottom of your picture, before the word prelim examination, you have already a color. But if you want to change, you just click the theme color. So it's up to you, no, and so on. But of course, this will be the default. This will be the advice. Then at the bottom, you have also another option. So for the background at the left side. So you can see here, there are certain changes at the left. Then at the font style, we just simply use this font style as basic because majority of the computer, especially some other computer also prepared to use this one, not the basic. For us not to encounter problem when it comes to text with other platform. So you just simply choose basic. Then after that, okay, so do you have any questions so far? So you just try to review your exam, of course. So what will be the next? So as you can see here at the left side, no, at the left side, we have a blank quiz here. So you just simply replace, for example, this one, copy, no, just copy, Control C, then make it as a prelim exam. Or if you want, just retype. So as you can see here, we have now the title. Then as you can see at the right side, all changes save in Drive. The right side, automatically save. Then the next one will be the gear at the right side. Gear. Click the gear. Then of course, collect email address. For those who answered your questions, you're targeted. Click the collect email address, of course. Then response receipt. If you want, of course, if this is an exam, it is not advisable for us to give a response receipt of your student. Because for example, if there's somebody who late to answer the exam and you send it the response receipt to your student, then automatically it's a part of cheat. They will be able to send that response receipt to other classmates who were not able to take the exam at that time. Then of course, we see to it that we limit to one response. It means to say that only student can take one exam, one time. But if you want to click the question mark at the bottom, so as you can see, respondent receive a copy of the responses. Okay, at the right side. This one, if you click. Okay, so that's why it's necessary for us to click. Okay, again, why do we limit this one into one response? Of course, for us to student not to take again the exam. And the respondent can edit after submit. Of course, we are not allowed that once they're submitted, or see summary charts in text responses. So it's not advisable for this time. So then at the right side, you have presentation. Okay, so show progress bar. Shuffle question order is, of course, you just check shuffle question order. So example, that question number 1 be able to be a question number 4 later, or question number 3. and so on. Then, so once you already finish, no, so as you can see here in quizzes, no, make this quiz or make this exam. Immediately after its submission, release grades, and respondent can see their missed question, the correct answer. If you want them not to see the correct answer, you just deselect. But of course, sometimes it is better for us to give the correct answer. Okay, right after. Then of course, so once you're already finished, click save. Okay, so this will be our output as you can see here. So if you want to preview at the right side, preview, for you to see. Okay, so if the student open the activity, as you can see, our number 3 is now number 1. So is there any changes? Because we click the shuffle. So every time the student open, there are certain cases that number 4 will be the number 3 and number 2 will become number 1. And even the answer key. Yes, it's automatically created. No need for you to indicate number actually. Okay? Okay, then since if you are satisfied already, just click the X button at the top. Okay? Then click send. Then it display, as you can see, click collect email address. For example, if we want to give our exam, for example, in 1 p.m., you just send this link, no, or you just type or email address here for them to receive your exam. So, for example, if you want to send this one to docmelo_amanda@yahoo.com, then if ever, then click send at the bottom right. But if you want to send a link, click this one. If I share, you just click this one, then automatically it prompt to you the link. But as you can see, we have an option to shorten the URL. Click the shorten. So it's better for you to send this one rather than the previous one. Because there are certain cases that you just send your exam through email or you just send a link to them. Okay. Then, so once you already finish, click close. Click close. So now you assign it already. Okay, we're still waiting with your classmate eating. So by this time, I think we need to go back to our account. Okay, so as you can see here, no? So as you can see here, you have a prelim exam created and make it as a draft. So what you're going to do is just click to see. Okay, as you can see here, no due date. secure your permit, choose the correct answer. So for example, because why do we need to set it this a draft first? Because sometimes we need to share this one, for example, tomorrow 1 p.m. or 3 p.m. So by this time, we're going to assign. Click. Okay, now by this time, I just want you to go to your Google Drive. No? Then as you can see here, try to look for your classroom. We have classroom here at the right side of your Google. Then as you can see here, IT era QC. Then I have the prelim exam and self-introduction. We're going to our IT era, then classwork. As you can see here, this will be your prelim exam. Okay, so, sorry. By this time, we want to assign this prelim exam. Okay, so click this one, assign. But prior to that, since we have only how many items? 5. So just make it 5. Then due date, for example. So we want to have a sample from our student. This is multiplication. Okay, kindly close first Okay, so as you can see here, we assign it already. Now, I will show you the student account. As you can see here, a student account prompted the prelim exam. For example, you are the students, okay? So the student, again, be able to copy link or to report abuse. Of course not. So click the prelim exam. Then the student, if the student wanted, of course, to see the presentation before the take exam, she want to watch video first before she take exam. Or, for example, after watching this video, for example, and so on, then close. Then, for example, the students are now ready to take the exam. So, she or he click the exam. Then, as you can see here, he or she need to supply his email address. So, assuming that his email address is docmelo888@gmail.com, then answer the question. Is the technique making apparatus process or a system to operate automatically? Automation. So, a person who writes blog, of course, blogger. For example, what is the heart of the computer? That is motherboard. ACM stand for computer machine. For example, that is true. Then by this time, a while ago, we instructed that the correct answer is uppercase. For example, we type plagiarism because student cannot notice the word uppercase letter. Then he or she submitted. Click submit. So the student automatically can view his score. Just click. As you can see here, the student be able to see. But a while ago, we clicked not that the student cannot able to see the correct answer. That's why he were not able to see the correct answer if he missed the correct answer. So as you can see here, it marked red. Why? Because his answer is plagiarism in an uppercase is the first letter and the rest is the correct answer is the complete plagiarism. A copy, because based on the instruction, it must be uppercase letter. So since the student write his answer into this format, not a uppercase, so therefore it is incorrect. That's it. Then, for example, if the student close, he can open assignment. So as you can see here. But can a student take again? Just only view score. Because we allow him only one to take exam. Okay? But of course, if it's another email address, they could able to take exam. Okay? So I think you are now ready to face your student and create your exams. Okay, so I'm hoping that you've got some informations or learning from this discussion. Then next time, we're going to discuss the people and the grades later on for our next seminar and workshop. Good day, everyone, and Godspeed. Thank you for attending our seminar and workshop. See you to our part 3